Monster Hunter Wilds came out late February of 2025. Small indie game, you probably haven't heard of it, and it saw massive success across the internet. So with all this hype building up, I wanted to see what all the talk was about. If you don't know about what Monster Hunter is, first, what are you doing? Do you live under a rock? But for those 4 people who don't know, it's a game made by Capcom where you, the hunter, John Monster Hunter himself, go out, hunt monsters, and take their parts to be absolutely dripped to the gills, as well as wield weapons so big it would make Cloud Strife think that's a little excessive. That's a pretty reductive explanation, but you get the idea. See, my experience with Monster Hunter is minimal at best. I played World for about 6 hours, and it was only because it went on sale to promote Wilds being announced. I loaded it up with a friend, we'd do a few hunts, and call it quits for the night. It was fun, but I wasn't seeing why people truly loved the series, purely because I didn't put in the time and effort to make it further into the game. The combat didn't feel good, because I wasn't spending the time to learn it. The first weapon I picked was the Greatsword because when I play games like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, I live and die by strength builds because Unga Bunga Smash is the only way to play video games. But I will admit, it wasn't fair to World, and I fully accept it was my fault. But I am a stubborn creature, and I stuck to Greatsword, didn't really learn the weapon play, and eventually the game slipped into the ether. Life went on, and I stopped thinking about Monster Hunter as a whole. Then the beta for Wilds came out, and streamers who were really into Monster Hunter were showing it off. I tuned into some here and there, and I was seeing the gameplay more and more. The hype was building up again. I asked some friends if they planned on getting the game when it came out, and I was met with a resounding, yeah, maybe. Which was enough for me to pre-purchase it. Eventually, release day was upon us. I called off of work, had to finish practicing for a VTuber Rivals tournament. Shout out to Team Live Another Day, y'all were great. And at 11 PM CST, the game released and I downloaded it as soon as I could. I jumped into VC with my friend and we immediately went into character creation to make the cutest characters that we planned on shipping together. But the biggest difference is that I had more exposure to it. I knew what weapon I would use. Shout out to the dual blades, my beloved. And I had time to put into playing and learning. So we were off to a great start. We worked through joining each other's games, which was frankly less than intuitive for my tiny lizard brain, but it was overall a fun time. And the next thing I knew, it was 3 AM, and my body was screaming to stand up and move my legs. What is the game even about, and why are so many people, including me, flocking to it? Slight spoilers ahead, but I'll keep it vague. So the story of Monster Hunter Wilds isn't really something that I was playing for. What I've heard, the real appeal is just the hunts, and only the diehards genuinely look deeply into the story. But from my understanding, the story is as follows. The Hunters Guild finds a boy in the desert where civilization is not thought to be viable, so we travel there and try to reunite him with his people, all while exploring new lands and dodging a threat known as the White Wraith. While out here, we learn the secrets of the beasts and the people who occupy these lands, and you hunt monsters, in case you didn't know. You go from the sun-scorched desert to the lush green forest to the cold mountains to an ancient basin teeming with glowing flora and fauna. One thing this game really excels at is the visuals. This game is gorgeous. Now, as a VTuber with not the latest setup, but a pretty decent GPU running a 4070 in my Frankenstein of a PC, I couldn't set my graphics to the highest settings while playing this because I didn't need to simulate a Boeing 747 taking off from my desk. But even at medium settings, the game looks phenomenal. Art direction is often an underrated and underappreciated aspect of game development, but when it's good, you really notice it. Kaname Fujioka, maybe mispronouncing that, apologize, led the art direction team and they were really able to capture the vibes of both a beautiful and dangerous landscape. For example, the fight with Raidao shifts the bright and shining desert to a stormy, lightning-filled maelstrom that truly encapsulates the sheer presence of the boss with a railgun for a face. All of it truly brings out the spectacle of the game. Maximum pulse! Monster Hunter introduces new mechanics to the series each time, but since this is my first time really playing one, I can't speak on how much better it feels versus games like World or Rise. That being said, the game just feels good. There's a certain level of fluidity that, when properly executed, really just tickles the brain. For example, as a dual blades user, it just feels good to land a handful of hits on a creature in a flurry of strikes. Even finding out how to actually combo properly feels like I'm actually doing something impressive, even though in reality I spent the first 4 hours butt mashing until it strung together something cool. Not to compare the games, but Soulsborne's players are sure to find some familiarity in the playstyle. Dodge when you can, hit where it hurts, manage stamina, and back up to heal. It's not a style exclusive to Souls games, but I'd argue it's a style made popular by the Souls games. But what can you do with these fancy dancy combos? Well, I'm glad you asked. The monsters from Monster Hunter are the standout thing about the series. From the classic Rathalos to the new Dashaguma, and everything in between, the variety of beasts you'll be toppling for hunts is pretty diverse in my opinion. It amazes me how most of the monsters require a bit of ingenuity to fight each one, and they all just have a different feeling. Lalabarina is fast and nimble and has a poison effect from shooting out spider lilies from her giant rosy ass, but Uthduna is a lumbering fish, eel, Komodo dragon, gator thing that does really big belly flops and has a water shield. My favorite fight thus far is the Jindahad. It's a fight that on the surface just seems like another hack and slash versus big monster, but what's fun is the effects he has on the arena as well as the Aura Max and Giga Chet dual blades focus move. The monsters' designs for the most part are unique and you can really differentiate them upon a quick glimpse, save for some of the reskins, but even those tend to be in a separate environment, so it's still easy to tell apart what you're fighting, like the Kutku versus the Jaceros. I refuse to say its actual name. Creature design is always something I have a large appreciation for, and I give Monster Hunter a lot of praise for theirs. The last point I want to bring up is the sheer epicness of the game. Cinematic moments that really strike awe into the player. You truly feel like you are in a land of monsters, and the pre-rendered cutscenes really enhance that. A true David versus Goliath feeling, but instead of a rock and a slingshot, you're armed with weapons bigger than you claim to be on your Tinder profile. Oh yeah, baby, I'm 6'5", killed Arkveld and a Rathalos solo with no buffs, no heals, and not sharpening once. Swipe left. The biggest standout cutscenes are anything with Arkveld or Raydal. The visuals, the lighting, the sound design, all of it shows the power of these creatures, and you, John Hunter, have to kill them. Monster Hunter Wilds is truly an amazing game. I will consider it my first real experience with the series, and I'm excited to see what comes next, especially any DLCs or what they call title updates they inevitably add to the game. They got their hook slingers into me, and I'm falling deep into this game. I want to look up builds, I'm watching lore videos, I'm looking at figures of the monsters, and even forming a little fanfic between me and my friends' characters. The world is so fresh to me, and I highly recommend playing Wilds. It is a great introduction to a fresh and polished entry to the series that we'll probably be playing until the new game eventually comes out. Thank you so much for watching this video. It is my first sojourn into this style of video, so I hope you enjoyed. Who knows, maybe I'll do more depending on how well this video does. If you want to catch me live, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/StormKingVT at least 3 evenings out of the week at 6:30 p.m. CST. Would love to see you there. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.